conversation with a friend who lives kind of far away over text messages. Her name's Wendy. You've heard me talk about Wendy before, and Wendy and I have been dear friends for a lot of years now. She just bought a new boat, so I was asking her lots of questions about her boat. And Wendy's Tucker's godmother, so she was asking lots of questions about Tucker and what Tucker's up to, and it was just a great conversation when all of a sudden Wendy stopped replying to my text messages. And I started to get worried because this isn't like Wendy at all. Like, she's pretty good about responding when I reach out to her. She kind of thinks of herself as a substitute mom for me. So all the time she gives me junk about my hair, my facial hair, and all this kind of stuff. So she's really involved in my life. So it was very off-putting when she just stopped texting back to me. And it went on for a few days where I'd reach out to her and say, Wendy, are you okay? And nothing. Wendy, are you still alive? Nothing. If you are the person who murdered Wendy and stole her phone, can you reply to me so I know what happened to Wendy? Nothing. Right? Now, eventually Wendy called me back. It was yesterday afternoon as we were driving home from an installation of our new bishop. So I got to talk with Wendy, and I know everything was fine, but those days when Wendy wasn't communicating with me were very scary and off-putting. And did you know that there's a term for that? When you're engaging with someone in social media or texting or in real life, when you expect them to be there and expect them to answer, and you, especially after you've been engaged in conversation for a while, and then they just kind of disappear. And the term for that is ghosting. Okay? At least that's what the kids tell me. Right? And being ghosted kind of stinks. And I thought about being ghosted as I read today's first lesson from Exodus. You see, God has been kind of working in the Hebrew people and through the Hebrew people and through Moses for quite a long time when we reach this point in Exodus, right? Moses has been born. He's going to be a chosen one, so he's put in a basket, and they find him in the basket, and he gets raised up by the Pharaoh in the Pharaoh's court, and then he kind of rebels against the Pharaoh and proclaims that he's a Hebrew, and discovers that there's this God of the Hebrew people who wants to deliver the Hebrew people who are enslaved out of slavery. And Moses is the person in charge of this, right? So Moses goes to the Pharaoh and kind of tells the Pharaoh this stuff, and the Pharaoh doesn't believe him, and then we have the plagues, and then the Pharaoh releases the Hebrew people, and they start crossing the desert to go to the promised land, and Moses is leading the people, and he's kind of the guy, right? And they go, but all of a sudden the Pharaoh has a change of heart and sends the army after the Hebrew people until they get to the Red Sea, and the Hebrew people cross the Red Sea, and then the Pharaoh's army tries to, because God spreads the Red Sea open, right? And then when the Pharaoh's army tries to chase the Hebrew people through the Red Sea crashes and crashes down on the Pharaoh's army and kills all the Pharaoh's people, and Moses is still leading the people through the desert, and he starts to complain, saying, Moses, why aren't you taking us to this promised land that you found us? We're starting to get hungry and thirsty. What's going on? So the people complain, and God hears the people's complaints, and they provide God's people with food, but they don't believe that the food is going to keep coming, so the people hoard the food, and then the food spoils, and God punishes the people that way, and then they keep going, and they get to Mount Sinai, and Moses goes up onto the mountain, and he talks with God, and he pierces the burning bush, he gets the 10 Commandments, and that Moses brings the Ten Commandments down to Mount Sinai and gives these instructions to God's people about how they're supposed to live with God and how they're supposed to live with each other, and things are good. And then Moses goes back up to the mountain to talk more with God, and the people freak out. There's the book of Exodus in like 3 breaths. Right? The people freak out because this God who has worked through this man Moses, who has delivered them through all this stuff, seems to have disappeared. And not only has God disappeared, but so has their leader Moses. Because after the 10 Commandments, right after Moses comes down, he goes back up. And he's up on the mountain for an extended period of time. And the people are like, well, now what do we do? This guy who we put all our faith and trust in, Moses, is gone, and this God of Moses is gone. They ghosted us. So now what? So they decide to replace this God who they think has ghosted them with another God. And they go to Moses' brother Aaron and they say, Aaron, what are we going to do about this? Where is God? Why is God not here? We need a God. We need a God, and we know that you can provide us a God. And Aaron, being who Aaron is, kind of a people pleaser, says to the people, hey, I know what we're going to do. Take your earrings out and give them to me. Now, there's an important question to ask here. How did the slave people who had no money get earrings? Right? Because they had no money. They left from slavery out to the desert. Right? And some biblical scholars argue that when Pharaoh's army was vanquished by God, that the slaves went and looted the bodies of the soldiers and adorned themselves with the gold that the soldiers were wearing as a symbol of God's power in the world. So anyway, Aaron takes this gold, and he somehow, in the middle of the desert, at the foot of a mountain, forges this golden calf, which is more like a bull, right? And the people decide that this bull is now their God. This tangible, visible thing, this thing that they can go up and touch, they can smell, they can taste it if they want to lick it, right? This material thing that is standing right in front of them is their God. And they decide to worship this God in the way that they've worshipped gods before. They bring burnt offerings to this bull, this golden bull. Because this is easy, right? It's easy to have faith and trust in the things that you can see and interact with. Things that you can tell are physically present with you. So they engage in this worship practice, forgetting these rules, these commandments that God has just given them. This commandment to worship no other gods but the Lord our God. Do not create false idols. Do not do the stuff they are doing. Now, God understands that the people are doing this and witnesses that the people are doing this. And God is chilling with Moses on the mountain, and God gets ticked off. Right? God, in fact, tells Moses, hey, Moses, leave me alone so that my wrath may burn down on these faithless people. Sounds like the God we want to worship, right? And Moses has this interaction with God and changes God's mind. Moses essentially says says to God, hey, why are you going to destroy the people that you just delivered? What are people going to say about you then, God? You need to remember who you are. You need to remember that you're loved and that you're a freedom and you're a deliverer. Don't do this thing. And then Scripture tells us that God changes God's mind. God remembers who God is, and He lets the people live. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, that's fine and good, Pastor Dan, but what does this have to do with us? I mean, what does this have to do with the way that we choose to live our life? What does this have to do with us in this contemporary society? I mean, Pastor Dan, I'm not rolling down my earnings and making a bowl out of them. Right? But my contention is that sometimes we are just like those Hebrew people who were delivered out of slavery into freedom. And that sometimes we are patient enough with God. That we aren't attuned to God's plan enough. That we also create false idols. Now, our false idols look a little different than those of the Hebrew people. Our false idols are, the accumulation of wealth. Our false idols are protecting our reputation, even if it harms other people. Our false idols are thinking that we can do all the things that we do on our own, and that we don't need any help. Our false idols are that we don't need to be surrounded by other people because to challenge our thoughts and beliefs, because obviously we're right and there's no other way possible to engage in thought or dialogue. And we create these false idols and worship these false idols when we don't feel like God is present, where we wonder where God is and how God might be operating. Now, surely God's not going to punish us the way that God might have punished those Hebrew people if He hadn't been talking to Moses. But I still think that God worries about us, and that this wounds God's heart, and that God looks at us and says, you stiff-necked people, don't you understand, and don't you have faith in the promise that I'm always there? That I indeed haven't ghosted you in the way that you understand ghosted. I did ghost you. I gave you the power of the Holy Spirit, which signifies to you that I'm always there. I'm always present. I'm always active. Be patient. Be calm. Trust in the promise. You see, brothers and sisters in Christ, I think faith is cultivating the art of patiently waiting for God. Faith is believing in those things that we haven't seen or haven't experienced, right? But trusting in the promise that those things are going to show up in us. And knowing that those things are going to show up in us. So our challenge is to be a people of patience, which really, really stinks, and is hard, and is difficult, because we want immediate gratification. We want our golden calf, and we want it now. Let us be people who don't react out of that impulse, but rather wait, listen, pray, and know that God is here, that God is active, that God indeed hasn't ghosted us. Thanks be to God. Amen.